This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Lion's Court by Vera Rivers. Chapter 1. Maisie. Aspered heel touched the freshly paved ground, my jeaned leg appearing along the side of the taxicab, as my eyes took in the mishmash of my new surroundings. "Hey," the driver barked, "you gonna pay?" My head whipped back, the tone of his voice irking me. I'd almost forgotten he was there, honestly, my thoughts consuming me all the way from Serafina. Closing my left hand around the strap of my purse, I pulled it open with my right, and pulled out my wallet, throwing a 50 at him wordlessly before slamming the door shut, to stand at the curb as the cabbie zoomed away, muttering about my crappy tip. He didn't deserve it. He'd driven like an idiot the whole way and eyed me like a holiday feast in the rearview mirror the entire trip. He was lucky I hadn't put a spell on him. But the driver was literally the last thing on my mind. I couldn't have cared less what became of that guy after he drove away from the weird downtown core of Les Clones. Cana. Could this really be the right place? Maybe I'd been spoiled living in Pario City my whole life, where things had been so much simpler. But the industry of Lacana was daunting, especially after the stint I'd spent in Serafina. Going from the dusty desert of Pario City to the backwoods of Serafina to this was, well, daunting. A car horn startled me as a vehicle whipped past on the road at my back. It was nowhere near me, and I scowled viciously, but the crimson sedan was long gone as I stepped my cowboy boot onto the curb and righted my shoulders, holding my head back to look at the array of busy shops in front of me. I barely knew where to start. How had my aunt found herself here, of all places? Was my intel wrong? Had Elijah's investigations been misdirected? It was difficult to imagine that, considering how much intel and care the original wolf shifter had done since returning to reign over Pario City, with Abby at his side. I had the utmost faith in his sources and information. So many of the females trafficked by the Verity gang had been recovered based on Elijah and Abby's search alone, but I couldn't help but be skeptical when it came to my own family. All of these years, all of this anger, this drive to end the reign of depravity that had taken hold on me, motivating me to bring me to this very place, suddenly had me at a loss. I was abruptly overwhelmed, conflicted by the bustle of the busyness of the city around me. I reminded myself that my aunt didn't bring herself here, assuming Anna Marie was there at all. If she was in Lacana, as I'd been instructed, she had been brought there by force, a victim of human trafficking. "Lady, are you lost?" The sneering voice immediately put me on guard, and I turned to meet a pair of stone-cold azure eyes, a towering beast of a male hovering over me, two lackeys hanging nearby. He was a pimp. I could smell his vocation all over him, even without asking. I'd been around them my whole life, and I knew their swagger and stench. "Nope," I reassured him, spinning around to march in the opposite direction. To my dismay, he followed, and I inhaled sharply, determined to keep my cool. I was already attracting attention I didn't need. I didn't answer, my step quickening as my eyes scanned the street for a place of sanctuary. "A pretty girl like you could use some friends if you're new in town," he added, gaining his steps on me. Screw off. I would have yelled those words at him if I'd been in Pario City, or even running my small outfit in Serafina, where Elijah had sent me to oversee operations for a few months. But that wasn't those places. This was somewhere I was meant to keep a low-key existence and garner intel until I could locate my lost aunt. I couldn't afford to make waves until I found Anna Marie. "Hey, you deaf or something?" His hand closed around my arm, and my temper got the best of me. Without thinking, I conjured the first spell on my mind and hissed it out through clenched teeth, paralyzing the bastard on the spot. He froze before his minions understood what I'd done, and I ducked down the nearest alleyway, not giving anyone a chance to recognize what had happened. It wasn't until I was at the far end of the alley and out the other side that loud voices yelled out for me to stop. But by then, I flew into the nearest store, my heart hammering in my chest. Shit.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.